Welcome back. Brewster started his real estate career in his 20s, moved to Chico from the East Coast, and only knew 4 people.
4.
And built his career from scratch. After 16 years at Coldwell Banker, he opened a Keller Williams office in 2008. If you've ever met him, you know he has a personality you literally cannot duplicate. So welcome, Brew.
Welcome.
Oh, thank you. Glad to be here. I've been watching you guys do your podcast, and I was looking forward to our get-together.
You've just been dying to get on, haven't you?
Yes.
He's been writing us letters nonstop. He's been texting us, blowing up our email.
I would walk by and stare through the window
Right.
behind the little Venetian blinds.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about how you were as a young lad. Tell us about Little Brew.
So I had 2 older sisters, which was probably the problem. One is 4 years older than me, and one is 6 years older than me. And I joke that it was all because of them that I am the way I am. So, in a good way. I had some very strong females in my life. My mother was a strong person. My grandmother was a strong person. My sisters are, and I'm the byproduct of it. So, there you go.
Slide.
A little bit, but grew up in New York State. My dad commuted to New York City, was a banker there, very conservative. But we had a pretty easygoing upbringing and strong family. They were married for 50 bazillion years, and then came to California, lived in the Bay Area for a little while, a couple of years, and then moved up to Chico because my wife at that time, her family had retired here, and I was getting my real estate license, studying for it in the Bay Area. Didn't know anybody there, so we decided to move to Chico, so we knew 4 people.
4.
And which is 4 more than where we were.
Better than 0.
Yeah, and then just started out. It was like ignorance was bliss, and I didn't know. I had no bad habits. I had no good habits. I had a sales background, so I understood the numbers, meaning you had to talk to so many people to get a sale. And that's always been embedded with me. I think that's probably one of the big frustrations with newer agents is you have to have a lot of no's to get to a yes. And the no's can hurt, but the yeses override that. And it's a great business because you're just helping people. I've actually never sold a house. I've just helped people buy a house or help them get rid of a house. So you just have to look at it with that attitude, I feel.
So, only knowing 4 people
Yeah.
in Chico, why did you decide to get into real estate, having that sales career or background? What made it be like, oh, let's get into real estate?
It was a bigger ticket item, even though when I started in 90, it was August 16th. It was 102 degrees in Chico that day. And my air conditioning went out that same day, by the way.
Sweet.
Right.
Brewster is nice.
And, you look for leads in the sense of for sale by owners. A lot more people attempted to sell their homes on their own back in that day, but now with the legality, I think less people are right now. So for sale by owners were very prevalent. Also, a lot of listings didn't sell, so that was called an expired. So there were a lot of expireds back then, whereas this market, it's a lot more active and there's more turnover. So there's very few expireds now. So for sale by owners, expireds, and open houses. And what's really weird is nothing's really changed. And everyone tries to get all fancy.
I know.
And then it's just back to the core people, trying to find people that have raised their hand about selling.
What do you think is something that people assume about you that is completely wrong?
I got to sneak at your questions ahead of time.
You did.
That was really all your other questions are like beach balls that I could hit out of the park.
Yeah.
That one was a really interesting one. I think some people don't think I care about them, but I probably care about people more than they realize it just because of my personality style. And I do actually really care about people, even though I might come across as short, but that's just my attention span problem. And I move on quickly to other things, and then people are like, wait, come back. I don't know how do you feel about that? It's like, I feel great. Okay, next.
I kind of feel like it's like a tough love situation.
Yeah,
I
I've heard that.
understand it.
I've heard that. Yeah, tough love. Because I actually have huge expectations for people, and I probably care more about their success than they do. So that gets a little frustrating. but
Like when you see people not living up to their full potential.
yeah, I probably have more, a better opinion of people than they do about themselves.
Ah.
So, yeah, deep.
I like that.
Oh.
Thanks. Okay, write that down.
So, if you were 25 again,
Yeah.
going back into like our shoes
Yeah.
and starting over, what would you do differently if you could choose one thing?
I think the people you surround yourself with is really important, and your core relationships is super important. That doesn't mean I got involved with people that I shouldn't have when I was 25, but I think that we all need to remember that throughout our whole life as you become the average of the 5 people you hang out with. So hang around with winners and not losers. Not that I did back then, but I think that's really important. So to really answer your question that I didn't answer, I don't think there's anything I would do differently. I like to try new things, and I'm kind of a risk taker, and I'd probably not change that. So at some point, if you want to be different, you got to act differently and be a driver, and that's kind of important.
What do you think it is that makes someone actually last in this business?
Yeah, really great question, because we do see a lot of turnover in this business. I think newer agents in the business, it's really important that they're set up for success and they have the resources behind them to really jump into the business and not worrying about money. I know it's easier said than done. So whether that means having 6 months of expenses in the bank or having a life where you have some resources to kind of go through the learning curve of the business. Some people hit it right out of the park. Other people, it can take a year or 18 months to kind of get their groove. The paperwork now is crazy, and it's like, you're already seeing it, that how many more new forms have there been incorporated since you guys started?
At least 10.
At least 10.
At least 10.
So multiply that by years.
Yeah.
And the purchase agreement used to be 4 pages long, now it's 17. And every clause in the purchase agreement is created because of a dispute. And so there was a dispute about that, so let's add this paragraph. And then you have to be able to understand it. So this market and this business is not for the faint of heart. You need to have the resources to be able to put in your year or two to really figure out the paperwork, develop relationships with people, because it has nothing to do with houses, it has to do with people. And it's a people business. Every client's different, every house is different, every transaction's different. That's the great part that I love about the business, but I'm sure others get overwhelmed by it because no transaction's the same. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
Okay.
you did.
Okay.
I said, what is it that makes somebody last? Do you think
Got
is
it. Okay.
different?
Consistency and not giving up, and really, really developing a pond of people who want to support you and help you and send you referrals. A pond being your sphere of influence, your pool of raving fans. So as you just slowly grow that, it does come back to you. Okay.
So sticking with what makes you last in this business, what separates a good agent from a great agent?
Ooh, being learning based and understanding that there's so much to know in the business and not get overwhelmed by it and just take baby bites of the business and not get overwhelmed by it, and really understanding the paperwork, dealing with people, and then knowing the inventory. Really, really important to know the inventory because that's our product. We've got to know the neighborhoods. We've got to know why people there's a neighborhood called Hancock Park. That's a very consistent neighborhood. Amber Grove is a real consistent neighborhood. What do people love about it? And just kind of understanding. And then there's people that would never live in those neighborhoods but want to be close to downtown in a small overpriced house on 7th Street. Sorry, that's true. But they sell all the time because people want to be able to walk downtown or walk to the park. Listening. Some people also don't think I listen, but I really do.
You always tell us that
better.
you're getting better, you're working
working
on
on it, yeah.
listening.
More than because
Do you feel like you've improved?
What'd you say? Sorry, that was
There
funny.
we go.
The old saying, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. We're supposed to listen twice as much as we speak. I'm working on that, okay?
It's great.
So, thanks.
What has been your most memorable transaction in your whole career?
I saw that question because I grabbed your pile of questions
Right.
earlier, and I thought about it. I don't really have one. So I have some memorable clients.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sort of changing your question.
Let me see.
I did have one client. Her name is Lorraine Danielle, and I helped her with 14 transactions.
Wow.
14.
She's like a serial mover. And she would buy a house, she would decorate it, she'd get bored, and she'd move. She moved from Butte Creek Country Club down by the golf course to a house on Henshaw, to a condominium in Canyon Oaks,
Wow.
to a mobile home over in Springfield Manor. And she would live there for a couple of years, and then she'd call and say, "Okay, I'm ready to move." And then she'd move back down to Butte Creek Country Club, and then she's on Yosemite right now, and she just would move. And she was a mother of a client who only did one deal with me, but she was the lead. They were the lead to her, who did 14 deals over like
I was gonna
24
say.
years.
Okay, I was gonna
Yeah.
ask how many years.
Yeah, over like
That's
24 years. It
insane.
was crazy. I remember the month I remember the first time I met her, and I showed her a townhouse in Northwood Commons, and then we just kind of hit it off, and she kept moving. It was a fluke for sure.
Okay,
So I guess so your question was transaction,
But
but it was
Yeah.
client.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
just blew
that
that out of the water. So
well, can you tell us how much you think you've made off of?
yeah,
one
well, the prices
person?
were lower back then,
Yeah.
allegedly. I'd have to add it up. Well, so figure if it was, well, we don't talk numbers here at Keller Williams.
Never.
So 14 times, let's just say $6,000. What would that be?
Oof, you're asking the wrong gal.
100 grand?
I don't do math.
Sorry, ish.
Oh, okay.
Around, yeah,
Right.
a
Yeah.
little over.
And then I had another really good client
Yeah.
who I met at an open house.
I think I know who exactly. you're
Yeah,
gonna say.
we've talked about this person, and I won't say their name, but they're really
Yeah.
cool, and I love them.
I know them
And
too.
then I didn't do a
love
deal with them for 7 years themselves, but they're one of those. Well, the wife is one of those people that
Love
knows
her.
everybody,
Oh.
and she at that point, all of the people she knew were moving, like buying their first house and then moving up, and that was like a 28 home web of closings over probably 10 years. So that was from a holding an open house on a listing I had that listing never sold, but I met that person who created that web of transactions, and that one I added up. It was a very successful meeting, let's just say that. And so you just never know where you're going to kind of hit gold in that sense, or success gold. And so I don't really have a specific transaction, but I have relationship success in that sense.
What is one piece of advice that you'd give an agent who feels behind?
Ooh. Don't give up. Understand that you have to put in your time, and then also, I don't know if you've noticed, but some people in this business take it as a part-time situation, and I think that it really needs to be looked at eventually getting into a full-time situation, because people get into real estate because of the flexibility and the financial potential, but you have to be kind of strict with your calendar to get to that financial benefit. And I think a lot of people just are doing it part-time, and then they have a closing, and I think it's really important that they look at it like a full-time career eventually. So.
I look at it like you get in, or you put in what you get out.
Ooh, good one. I like
yeah.
that. Yep. Clunk. I spilled my coffee.
Or you get out what you
Coffee
Yeah,
out of
get
my
out what you put in,
Alicia,
you know?
It's like
out of my Alicia Simpkins cup. Very fancy.
plug. Okay, so also we didn't ask. So what was the average sales price when you first started in the late 90s?
Early 90s.
Back
From
in the
90 to
day.
97, I tracked it. The average sale price in Chico was $125,000.
Disgusting.
Average for 7
makes
years.
me
So
sick.
just doing the math. So I remember my 3rd year in the business, I had a sale on Lazy Trail off of West Sacramento. Kirk and Connie Freitas, he was the track coach. I met them at an open house. And that was my big sale. It was $257. It was on Lazy Trail. I was like, woohoo! That's twice the average sale price in Chico.
Wow.
And then they ended up doing quite a few transactions with me also. Yeah, so the market was flat for 7 years until 97, and then from 97 to 2006, Chico and Redding were the fastest appreciating markets in the country.
Oh, wow.
It was going up like 15% a year from 97 to 06. So people kind of found Chico as a little gem, you know, the little college town in the valley, and homes were affordable, and then everything kind of went crazy in the pricing situation. And but you know, I remember selling a $45,000 condominium on Notre Dame, and those little boxes on Notre Dame on the west side. And so doing the math, you can kind of figure out what the check was, and then after, you know, all the expenses, it wasn't really very much. So you just kind of plugged away and create a good reputation, and not only a good reputation with clients, but also the people in the real estate industry, your co-workers in town, I call them, and having the reputation of good paperwork and doing what you say you're going to do and getting things done on time, and so that down the line other agents will want to do more deals with you. So.
Exactly.
Fine.
If you weren't the little real estate baddie that you are, what would you be doing?
I have no idea. I read that. I pre-read that question. I have no idea. I can't imagine doing anything else ever.
This is the one and only trail.
Nothing?
One and only path.
Zero. I have no other interest.
Wow.
What about like bike shop repair guy?
Yeah, you love biking.
Yeah.
Bike across the. Well.
Cyclist,
Oh, I
professional
didn't try that.
cyclist.
Okay. So I used to do bicycle camping.
Oh.
Yeah, bicycle camping.
I've heard
So
this story,
when
probably.
I was the summer before my either way, I was into bicycling. But the summer before my senior year in high school, with a buddy, we bicycle camped from Seattle to New York, 60 days, 3,000 miles,
Never.
and my butt hurt a lot.
Wow.
Okay, and then 30 years later, when I was 50, I did a bike trip through the Florida Keys.
Ooh.
And then I did San Francisco down to San Diego, camping all the way. And so, I don't know, I just enjoy doing it. Throw some bags on a bike and go.
Are these electric bikes?
No, that was
then.
recent. Yep. So as we get older, we get smarter. So I've done shorter versions recently with a pedal assist bicycle.
Pedal assist.
Pedal
But
assist.
the ones where you went
Yeah.
from Seattle
Yeah, that
to
was
New
my
York.
own. If I
Yeah.
stopped pedaling,
That's
it would stop. There was no. They didn't have electric bikes back then.
Wow.
Yeah. And just stayed at KOA campgrounds and carried a tent, carried a stove, carried a few days of clothing, and yeah. So very similar to real estate. You know, you're setting a goal, and you're doing. You know, you're putting in your miles every day. Good segue.
Wow, that was
Yes,
good.
we know how many miles we had
Write
to
that
go
down.
every day,
Write that
right?
down.
And then we take notes on bad days and the good days. So.
What are the KOA campgrounds? Like, what are
That's
the
like a.
names?
You don't know what a KOA
That's like a
is?
chain of.
I know what a KOA
They're really
is.
nice. They have showers and everything. They have like
It's like a
showers and
bougie
little
campground.
restaurants.
Oh, I
You get like a
didn't know.
Back then it wasn't bougie.
But now they're like nice.
Yeah, they're
You need a
super
membership?
nice.
Well, you don't have to, but you can
I
like
don't-
get. I'm
yeah.
pretty sure you can get like passes where you can just like go and like you know they're everywhere.
Yeah.
So like
Oh,
like, you don't need to have a membership, but like a pass like.
Oh, okay,
or you can
okay,
just go like
Right.
like check in. But if you have like the pass, you can go anywhere.
Yeah. When I did right before COVID, I did the San Francisco to San Diego, and that we stayed at state campgrounds. So literally, like quarters were like gold because that was to get a shower. You had to put quarters into a hot shower. You had to put quarters in the slot thingy
Wow.
to turn the water on. So
When
that
you
was
were
not
six?
KO8. That was right before.
1806?
No, you're so funny. Remember what a quarter is? No.
Pennies actually don't exist anymore.
No, it's pennies. Pennies are gone.
Pennies would be the
Obsolete.
Save them.
One day for our grandchildren.
No, before COVID. You guys were alive then.
Yeah.
That was in
I don't recall.
2019. Don't say where you were. Okay.
I was
I was 5 years old.
joking. If you were 5 years old, I was not born yet.
You were
Wow. This is all getting edited out. I know.
Absolutely not. Okay, so we want you to leave us with
Yeah.
a little nugget, a little what were you calling it?
Brewsterism.
A brewism.
Brewism, that's
we
what
were
I call
calling
them.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Macy calls it. It's like an aneurysm, but make it brew. You know what I mean? He has these
Doesn't
like
it, ca-
little.
it doesn't cause a stroke. Yeah.
It just might sometimes. But give us like a little
Yeah.
word of wisdom to leave
To
us.
realtors or life or in general?
What would you just like to say today?
Hang
What's
out.
on your mind?
Hang out. Be selective on the people that you bring into your world. And then for real estate, I feel that the people that are, we didn't really talk about the three markets, but we can if you want to. So I've been through three really bad markets, and this market is actually great compared to those other three. So when I started, it was a really tough market when the average sale price was $125,000. And then there was a really bad market in 2008 through 2013. That's a very common date just then. What year did Keller Williams get opened?
2008.
2008. When did the market go south?
2008.
So that's actually the
Jeez.
greatest. That's actually the greatest thing that could have happened because we opened this office super conservatively. It was a terrible market. Prices were going down. People were losing their houses. It wasn't a really fun time to be a realtor because banks were involved, and banks were becoming the sellers. So we had a whole different business then. And then, if you think about it, also. Couple years ago, 4 years ago, interest rates went up significantly, and then they've come back down a little bit, which is great. So that was a tough market. So the early 90s, so I kind of started in a bad market. We opened Keller Williams in a terrible market, and then interest rates went up. Oh, and then we had that thing called COVID. I don't know if anyone remembers that. Selling a home during COVID was really special. You had to get like the blessing of the Pope to show a house. Like, person had to show like their ID and fingerprints. I'm being a little extreme on that.
Social security number.
No, you had to sign a piece. So if you wanted to show, if you were a realtor back then, and you wanted to show 5 homes, you had to pre-email to the listing agent a form called a PEAD form, Pandemic something disclosure form. It was called a PEAD form. And it had to have the address of the home you were showing, and the buyer had to sign it saying, "I'm not sick." Swear.
Every single time?
Swear. And then also the blessing of the blessing of the COVID, I call it. The buyer, before they saw it, had to drive by. Weird. That'd be a good idea to do now. They should now.
still should.
Good point. They should drive by first. So they had to show a pre-approval letter.
Okay.
Oh, so they were serious.
Yeah, because we didn't want looky-loos that might have COVID. And then they had to sign a COVID form. And then, there were no open houses by then. Back then, there was no open houses. Open houses were forbidden by our governor, or whoever it was. Sorry.
Were you allowed to show the house were you able to be in the house?
Yeah,
with
and they
them?
had, they had to if you were a buyer.
Yeah.
And wanted to
Like,
look
could I go with
in the
you?
we would show it, but we had to the agent had to sign a PEAD form also saying I wasn't sick. No, I brought up the 3 bad markets. So when I started, it was terrible. When we opened Keller Williams, it got terrible. And then we had COVID, and then we had interest rates spike. So if you think about that, it all had to do with people, all 4 interesting markets. So I guess I get a little bit callous when agents say, this market's difficult. Oh, it's so difficult. So this is a great market because inventory is low-ish. There's 120,000 121 homes on the market in Chico right now, and about.
Are you talking about single family?
Single family,
Okay, I
yep.
was like, it's-
Single family, yes. In Chico, there's about 124 houses on the market, and about 65 are selling a month, which is a healthy turnover market. Here's one for you. I remember finding a promotional postcard from a Remax agent, great agent, Mark Crisco, and he sends out a little postcard that were market stats back in the 90s. Okay, ready for this?
Ready.
600 active listings, and 100 a month were selling. 600.
Was everyone selling
When
their
was
house?
Early 90s, mid 90s, like
Wow.
94,
Everyone was
95.
selling
And
their
that was
house
all.
in Chico.
Well, no, yeah, but
No
nothing
one-
was selling.
yeah.
So there was
That's
6 months of inventory, meaning if 100 a month sold, and there was,
Wow.
yeah. So you talk about having to know the inventory,
Mm-hmm.
and this is all before internet. We used to have a little paper book that came out every 2 weeks with the listings. It was called the MLS book.
That's so cute.
Yeah, it was cute.
like the Bible.
Little black and white photos.
Yeah.
And so, so this market is a lot easier, and technology is a blessing and a curse.
Mm-hmm.
But as my final nugget, as realtors,
Yes.
you've got to know the inventory and the product, and figure out the friggin' paperwork, and go make friends with people that want to move. There you go.
Okay.
Mic drop.
Thank you so
Hold on.
much.
Mic drop.
Probably
Do you
gonna
have any
break
other
that
final
thing.
questions?
Not at this time. Thank you.
What are
so
your frustrations?
Scenarios.
My frustrations
Yeah.
are
Macy, what's your frustrations?
honestly,
This is Macy and Elise, by the way.
Yeah.
They introduced
guys.
me.
I think my frustrations are probably figuring out my niche, like what
Oh, yeah.
I'm really good at.
Yeah.
Because you got to master what you're good at. And I
Sure.
feel like I want to try everything, and like I need to concentrate on 2 to 3 things.
Maximum. And
Mm-hmm.
then master them, automate them, and move on to the fourth.
Yes.
Easier said than done,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because you're still training wheels, and you'll figure it out. It's going to be okay.
But
Because
master.
you know at least 5 people.
Oh yeah.
So
I know lots
you
of
already
people
have
in
ahead.
Chico.
You're already ahead of where I was when I was in your demographics.
Exactly. You know,
Yeah.
one more than 4.
Yeah.
I know a couple
Perfect.
more than 4.
Right.
I know.
But then what you're going to find, this is what's going to happen in your career. You're going to have some successes, and then, because right now all your people are on watch mode right now. They're all watching on how Macy's going to do. And then when they see your successes, they're going to be like, okay, now we're going to do this with her. So that will happen. It's that tipping point. It's that straw that will take off exponentially
And
for both of you.
I'm also at that point too where like all of my friends aren't looking to buy houses right now.
Or not.
Are not.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. So
That's the generation right now. They
Yeah.
all want to have experiences.
Yeah.
And travel and drink $80 whiskeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
margaritas
Yeah.
in Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that's okay. It's just, and sometimes you also need to bring new people into your pool and not count on the people presently in your pool. So you always got to be feeding your pool with raving fans.
Yes.
And just
So.
time blocking and figuring out
Yeah.
all the times that every week I'll like start working. They always talk about working in your business versus on your business
Right.
and the difference. And then sometimes you get so caught up working in the business, and then I'm like
Yep.
constantly feeling behind. So I feel like that's my biggest frustration, and I'm always like all or nothing. So I'm trying to really like flatten myself out so
Right.
it's not so much of a roller coaster,
Right.
and I have just expectations for myself every day. So
Right.
it makes it easier.
So if you think of it, time blocking is really interesting. So when we were all growing up and we were at school, we would have 4 or 5 different classes in a day. So then we were taught to time block, because from 8:45 to 9:45 we had to be at math class. And then when did we know class was over? A bell would
Ring.
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 Okay, on to the next class, and you had 8 minutes to get there. So we were actually taught as children to time block. Then when we graduate, it just goes out the door, right? If you think about it. So time block in smaller increments, like literally get a dorky like kitchen timer, You have several. I know you do.
I actually do.
Right. And so just set the timer. You're not going to be bothered by anything. You're not going to check social media. You're not going to answer your phone. You're going to spend 20 minutes on improving your social media. And then when the timer goes off, you're done with that. We tend to jump back in because that's more fun to do. And then maybe it's adding 2 more people to our database who already like us and want to send referrals to us. So time block that in smaller increments and set an alarm. That works for me to remind me to do stuff. So we were all taught to time block. We just forgot. Once we get that little diploma, we're out. It's like, I hate time blocking, so I'm never going to time block again. Well, it worked when you were 6 to 18 years old, so you could graduate. All right, there you go. That was my word of wisdom of the day.
I actually feel like I constantly see agents having their timers going off, like at all times of the day, and I realized
I have
like,
to
that's
do
what
it to
it's
remember
for.
to go to an appointment.
Oh, well.
Or the
Get going.
Yep. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
You're the best.
All right. Well, I can't wait for, and then maybe in a couple of years I'll interview you guys, and
Oh.
we'll have a discussion on
Yes.
how you got successful.
Okay.
All right. Take care.
How we did it. Take care.
Perfect.
Peace out.
Wait, no. What is your saying? What do you say? What you say usually?
Oh,
You say peace be with you.
peace be with you. Even though I've never been to Catholic church in my life, it's just really funny because when I say it, peace be with you, people are like, they have like PTSD.
Every time
like
he leaves the room,
nervous.
he's
I'm gonna
like,
get
"Peace be
spanked
with
with a
you."
ruler.
Gotta go. Bye.
Peace.